Look closely at the picture. Not casually, not the way social media wants you to. Actually look at it. A young world champion stepping off a private jet, designer clothes, gold belt shining under airport lights, cameras flashing. The kind of image that screams, "I've made it." It spread everywhere. But not because people were impressed, because people were suspicious. Do you really think he owns that jet? One fighter laughed. No chance, that's rented, that's staged. Within hours, the narrative flipped. The same champion was spotted boarding a regular commercial flight, hood pulled down, face half covered, his belt stuffed awkwardly in the overhead compartment like a carry-on bag. So which one is real? The superstar stepping off luxury aircraft, or the fighter squeezing into economy class? That's when the whispers got louder. He's trying too hard. He thinks he's bigger than he is. He's already acting like a megastar. And then came the accusation that hit harder than any punch, that his fame itself was fake. He gained 800,000 followers in a day. That's not normal. Bots, bot followers, manufactured hype. The fight world doesn't forgive confidence. It especially doesn't forgive fast success. And Ilia Topuria wasn't just confident, he was certain. He didn't say he hoped to be champion, he said he would be. He didn't say he might beat the best, he said no one was on his level. To some, that's championship mentality. To others, that's arrogance begging to be punished. One veteran even said he needed humbling, that someone had to teach him a lesson, that reality was coming. But here's the uncomfortable question no one wanted to ask. What if this wasn't delusion? What if this wasn't fake at all? What if the image, the jet, the belt, the bold predictions wasn't pretending, but projecting? Because long before the cameras, long before the Instagram numbers, long before the UFC spotlight, there was no luxury, no red carpets, no followers. Just a kid in Georgia watching his world collapse. Before anyone accused him of faking a life, he was surviving one. At 8 years old, Ilia's reality changed in a way no child can process. His parents made a decision that would scar and shape him at the same time. They left. Not because they didn't love him, because they believed leaving was the only way to build something better. Try explaining that to a child. To an 8-year-old, heroes don't leave. Parents don't disappear for opportunity. They stay, they protect. And suddenly, they weren't there. His older sisters stepped up. They became the emotional anchors of the household. Ilia and his brother Alexander leaned on each other like soldiers in a two-man army. But before his father left, he gave them something that would quietly become their lifeline. Wrestling, Greco-Roman, discipline, control, combat without chaos. It started as a sport. War doesn't just destroy buildings, it rearranges minds. When the 2008 conflict between Russia and Georgia erupted, it wasn't something Ilia Topuria watched on television. It was outside his window. Tanks, sirens, smoke. The kind of atmosphere where even adults don't pretend everything is fine. He has spoken about seeing classmates disappear, about family members lost, about living in a place where death wasn't theoretical. And here's the part people skip over when they call him ended. His parents reunited the family and brought them to Spain. For the first time in years, they were together again. And suddenly, the abandonment made sense. They hadn't left him, they had built an exit. Spain felt like paradise compared to what they'd survived. But paradise came with a different problem. There was no Greco-Roman wrestling culture. The sport that shaped them, the Olympic dream, gone. Imagine building your entire identity around something, only to lose it overnight. His brother Alexander was elite in wrestling. That was the path, that was the blueprint. And now, it did judo. But his father, a fan of early mixed martial arts, started showing him old MMA fights. No rules compared to wrestling, striking, submissions, chaos controlled by skill. The first day he walked into an MMA gym in Spain, something clicked instantly. The energy, the intensity, the hunger in the room.
He didn't feel like a visitor. He felt like he had found home again. And from that moment, obsession replaced uncertainty. He and Alexander became the first to enter the gym and the last to leave. Hours upon hours, every day, no shortcuts. School started to feel irrelevant.
There's a myth about opportunity. People think it shows up when you're ready. It doesn't. It shows up when you're exhausted, injured, uncertain, and demands an answer immediately. Ilia Topuria had just spent weeks recovering from COVID. No hard training, body drained, conditioning gone. He wasn't sharpening weapons, he was rebuilding lungs. Then the phone rang. His manager didn't waste time. Do you want to fight in the UFC in 8 days? 8. Not 8 weeks, 8 days. He had been out for nearly 3 weeks, still not fully recovered, no proper camp, and on top of that, a brutal weight cut ahead. This is the part where most prospects protect their record. This is where they say, not yet. But Ilia had spent his entire life saying yes to discomfort. He didn't hesitate, he didn't negotiate, he accepted. Because for him, this wasn't just a fight. It was the door he'd been staring at since he walked into that gym in Spain. He has said opportunities like that don't knock twice, and in the UFC, he's right. Inside the cage, the noise didn't matter. The lack of preparation didn't matter. The critics waiting for him to crumble didn't matter. He performed. And suddenly, the whispers about potential turned into discussions about problem, because that's what he was becoming, a problem. The thing about confidence is this. When it's unproven, people call it arrogance. When it's validated, they call it championship mentality. Ilia didn't soften his tone after entering the UFC. If anything, he amplified it. He said he could beat anyone in the featherweight division, not compete, beat. He wasn't interested in contenders' names, he wanted the belt, and at the time, that belt belonged to Alexander Volkanovski, widely regarded as one of the greatest featherweights ever. Most rising fighters show respect, they speak carefully, they avoid bold predictions. Ilia predicted domination. He said he'd knock him out. That's when the division really started watching. Veterans rolled their eyes. He needs humbling. He thinks he's already the superstar. He hasn't been tested. And then tension spilled outside the cage. On a card where Ilia was scheduled to fight, another rising name was present, Paddy Pimblett. Social media arguments escalated quickly. National pride, political comments, personal insults, lines were crossed that go beyond fight promotion. Ilia took it personally. He has said some boundaries cannot be crossed, that certain words attack dignity, not just ego. Backstage confrontations nearly turned physical, press conference chaos, insults flying. Meanwhile, he still had an opponent to focus on, Jai Herbert, a dangerous striker. And inside the cage, for a moment, reality punched back. By the time the fight was announced, the division felt tense. Not excited, tense. Because this wasn't just another contender getting a shot. This was an undefeated challenger walking straight toward the throne and telling the king exactly how he planned to take it. The stage, UFC 298. The champion, Alexander Volkanovski. The challenger, Ilia Topuria, young, loud, undefeated. And here's what made it different. Ilia didn't say, "I think I can win." He didn't say it's going to be a tough fight. He said he would knock him out. Round 1, round 2 at the latest, and if not, he'd dominate 5 rounds. When you speak like that about a champion of Volkanovski's caliber, the MMA world splits instantly. Some admired the nerve, others couldn't stand it. Volkanovski wasn't some paper champion. He was considered by many the greatest featherweight ever. Tactical, durable, battle-tested. He dismantled legends. He'd survived wars. And here comes Ilia, barely established in comparison, claiming superiority everywhere. Striking, grappling, fight IQ, everywhere. Fans started asking, is this belief or disrespect? Commentators questioned his maturity. Former fighters warned about karma. The phrase "needs humbling" kept resurfacing. But Ilia's tone never shifted. Because in his mind, this wasn't trash talk, it was confirmation.
He has said before that he sees outcomes in his mind long before they happen, that he builds the image first, then steps into it physically. He wrote world champion next to his name before it was official. He carried the identity before the belt existed. To some, that's mental warfare. To others, that's self-hypnosis. Let me ask you something, MMA Arena. When does confidence become dangerous? When it's loud or when it's right? Fight week arrived and the tension was suffocating. Volkanovski carried himself like a man who had seen every version of hype before. Calm, controlled, almost amused. Ilia carried himself like a man who had already won. Face-offs felt personal. Press conferences were sharp. Every stare-down looked like prophecy versus legacy. The narrative was clear. The king defending his throne, the challenger claiming destiny. Inside the arena, as the lights dimmed and the octagon doors locked, all the words dissolved. No more interviews, no more predictions, just consequences. The early moments were tactical, measured. Volkanovski trying to read him, Ilia patient but dangerous, coiled like something waiting to explode. And then it happened. The shot. Clean, violent, precise. The kind of punch that doesn't just drop a champion, it shifts a division.
Behind every bold prediction Ilia Topuria ever made, there was always another name standing quietly beside him. Alexander. Not in headlines, not chasing interviews, but present in every round. At some point, Alexander made a decision that most fighters struggle with. He stepped away from chasing his own spotlight to coach his brother full-time. Think about that. Two boys who once dreamed of Olympic gold together. Two competitors who pushed each other through childhood, through war, through migration. And now one of them says, "Your ceiling is higher. I'll help you reach it." That kind of sacrifice doesn't show up in Instagram captions. It doesn't trend, but it matters. Ilia has said everything he does is for his family, that if he has to put his own ego aside for them, he would. And that belief runs both ways. Alexander became the strategist, the voice in the corner, the mirror in training. Ilia has even mentioned that his brother mimics his opponents, faster, sharper, so by fight night, nothing feels unfamiliar. That's not hype, that's preparation layered with trust. Meanwhile, the narrative outside kept spinning. Some fans still clung to the fake life angle, the jet photo, the follower spikes, the flashy confidence. But here's the uncomfortable pattern. Every time people predicted his downfall, he delivered. Every time someone said he needed humbling, he escalated. And the division kept evolving around him. His former training partner, Khamzat Chimaev, carved his own championship path. Rivals rose and fell. New contenders called his name. Yet Ilia remained consistent in one thing. He never softened his belief. He has said his life feels like déjà vu, like he's walking through scenes he's already watched in his mind. That statement divides people instantly. Some hear it and think greatness. Others hear it and think ego. So let's strip it down to the core question that started this entire story. Did Ilia Topuria fake his life? Or did he visualize it so clearly that when reality caught up, it looked staged? There's a difference. Faking is pretending to be something you're not. Manifesting is becoming what you refuse to doubt. The private jet photo that triggered so much noise, maybe it wasn't about wealth at all. Maybe it was symbolic. A kid who once saw tanks outside his window, now boarding planes as a world champion. From war zones to world titles, from sleeping in gyms to headlining pay-per-views, from being called delusional to knocking out legends. That's not a straight line. That's transformation. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Success doesn't end the debate. It intensifies it. Because once you become champion, the target grows. Now the pressure isn't proving people wrong, it's staying right.
The featherweight crown, lightweight ambitions, defenses, expectations, every new challenger believing they'll be the one to expose him. And the critics, they're still there, waiting, watching, hoping confidence finally meets consequence. So I'm asking you directly, MMA Arena, is Ilia Topuria the most mentally dangerous fighter in the sport right now? Or is he walking a razor's edge where one loss changes the narrative completely? Be honest. If he loses his next fight, do you think the fake superstar storyline comes roaring back? Or has he already done too much to erase that forever? Drop your real opinion below. I want to see this debate split. Because love him or hate him, one fact is undeniable. He never tried to blend in. He never asked for approval. He never toned himself down to make the division comfortable. And in a sport where hesitation gets you hurt, that might be his greatest weapon. If you're here for stories that go deeper than highlights, the psychology, the rivalries, the pressure behind the belts, make sure you're subscribed to MMA Arena, because this isn't just about who wins, it's about who believes first. Ilia Topuria believed before the world did. The only question left now is how long can belief stay ahead of reality?